we created Indian Arrows. That was mad. See what Indian Arrows did for our nation. साल का इतना करोड़ रुपया खराब करेगा, ईस्ट बंगाल मोहन बागान से 5-5 6-6 गोल से हारोगे, रेलीगेट हो जाओगे. जो बच्चे आते हैं हमारे पास 99% अच्छे होते हैं, सपने को लेके आते हैं. You have to help them. One of my biggest dream is to create brand ambassadors of Indian football. आज की डेट में हम बोलें कितने brand ambassadors हैं for Indian football. यार आप क्रिकेट की पूछ लो तो लिस्ट ही नहीं खत्म है. Wow, what inspired me to move to Europe is a good one. While I remember working with you all as young kids, where you were good. When you were a young kid, you were good amongst all these other kids and you could do your thing. You could be the so-called next school Cristiano Ronaldo, do your thing. But what was next challenging? To play for state, which you guys did. So, and what next? Yeah, we were all looking that, yeah, we wish we could represent India and blah, 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 blah. But the whole kick was how to accelerate it, how to be good. Because I remember when I used to play, when we used to have a foreigner, we always had this inferiority complex that he's big, he's got big legs, he's strong, or they are better, they are fast. And this is a mental part. Nobody mentored us. This is khelo khelo, ho jayega, dekh lenge. But I thought there should be a system to them, some madness, And what could that be? And then that time, I was still helping the All India Football Federation in my little capacity. Like whenever they need help with travel, they used to get stuck. They used to call me. I used to do small projects for them here and there. And then the general secretary was my previous boss, Kushal Das. I met Kushal one of the evenings. He's always been kind to me. And I asked Kushal, अगर इंडियन फुटबॉल अच्छा करना है तो हमें क्या करना चाहिए? He says, यार एरिक, हमारा एक बच्चा विदेश में नहीं खेल रहा. जो जाते हैं मतलब वो एक so called gimmick hai. The only guys who could do well were only Chetri, and Chetri was too old by the time he went, Or Bai. We all have so much respect for Bai. But they didn't play the premiership, They didn't play the highest leagues at the A team. Or they were there in the number one league of that country. So I said, ठीक है. He says, यार ऐसा कुछ करे रे कि you open a path for kids. And that time, in all honesty, it was a dream. Indians going abroad to learn football and adapt and grow. So I said, yeah, it takes some madness to do this, and maybe this guy sees that madman in me who wants to do things differently. Because at the AIFF, I mean, come on, we created Indian Arrows. That was mad. See what Indian Arrows did for our nation. I mean, everybody said, नहीं चलेगा, तू पागल है, साल का इतना करोड़ रुपया खराब करेगा, ईस्ट बंगाल मोहन बागान से 5-5 6-6 गोल से हारोगे, रेलीगेट हो जाओगे. None of that happened, yeah. Today's captain Gurpreet is Indian Arrows boy. Previous captain JJ, Indian Arrows boy. So many, if I can name, who played for the country. I remember I'm just deviating. I remember there was a time though, 7 out of the 11 players were from Arrows for the national team. While I was working with you guys, I couldn't see the next level. That is something that I said, there could be more that one can do. One should challenge himself to grow. Growth doesn't happen in a comfort zone. So I said, okay, let's do this madness. I traveled across Europe. I went to all footballing countries, in all honesty, who are good for football, and I had 19 criterias for which in my head made sense that an Indian kid should go there. So I won't name those 19 criterias, but I'll give you 2 or 3. One of the first criteria is that nation should be open to receiving us. Not our money, but receiving us as a race. And my kids could have a life in that country. That's very important. They could grow. They could, have a job. They could also play football and balance it out. So social acceptability. was very critical. Then one of the other criteria is this: psychologically they'll grow. They should not be cornered as, oh, you're an Indian, you can't play football. Or you know what? Oh, you're Indian, acha. You pay so and so €1,000, and yeah, we will see what we can do with you. That was not the agenda, because a lot of clubs said that to me. And big, big clubs, huh? If a normal guy back home would say the club is calling me, he'll just say, हाँ जी मैं तो sign कर लूँगा आपके साथ. Because they see business, they don't see development. That's the unfortunate part. So I thought we need to, another criteria was I want to work with a club which develops players, not buys players only. So I went to all these great countries. I met nice people, but I connected with three or four. And then I chose to stay there, not because I like the club secretary or president or the academy director. I wanted to see what is a day-to-day life. And it's costly, huh? Mind it. This qualification selection was a very, very integral part and very important it's one of the cornerstones, which said, okay, I want to make sure the city life is good for the boys. It's safe. How do they treat a foreigner here? See, a lot of Indians sitting back home, they don't understand this, that, they are saying, okay, I work with so and so, I work with so and so, and they send a child. They have no clue. Trust me. You go live there, walk the talk, go to the local place, see how you're welcome, because your children are there. You're taking money for their development. It's a profession. You got to be responsible. You just can't say, okay, sir, मैं पोर्चुगल में करा दूंगा, मैं पोलैंड में करा दूंगा, मैं स्पेन में करा दूंगा, मैं यहाँ करा दूंगा. ऐसे नहीं होता है भाई. यू हैव टू नो बच्चा किसके पास जा रहा है और वो बच्चे के साथ कैसे ट्रीटमेंट करेंगे. In the football world, everybody has their favorites. And unfortunately, Indians are not the favorite football players of the world. And today, the industry that I pioneered and I opened in India is being represented by a bunch of lunatics. Yeah, I'm so shocked that they don't even think that बच्चे का क्या होगा. They just send them to random countries where they. Who are the coaches? What have the coaches played themselves? I mean, how on the earth can you send a child selling an overseas dream when the coach himself hasn't played football? It's like you don't know how to drive a car and you're sitting with this driver and saying मेरे बच्चे को गाड़ी चलाना सिखा दो. उसने खुद तो चला ही नहीं, वो क्या सिखाएगा? And that's unfortunately, if back home people think, अरे गोरा है भाई, इसको आता होगा. I faced that at the federation also. The Gora always had the say. I chose to come here, work with the Gora, be equals. My children are better now. They are doing well. It's a process, it takes time. I mean, Tata wasn't made in 5 years or 10 years, was it? It took years, it took decades. It's a vision. It takes time. It's not like you come to Europe, you have a pill, and all of a sudden you become a player. See, a lot of people don't understand a simple aspect. It takes time. It's a culture here. मेरे हाथ में दे दो बैट, मैं मारता हूँ छक्का ना. गोरे के हाथ में दे दो बैट, कि छक्का मारो, उसको बैट नहीं पकड़ा जाएगा. It takes time, Baba. Why does it take time? Because it's a cultural thing. You know what? By default, Indians are very good with racket sports, with hand sports, because eye and hand coordination is very superior for us. यहाँ पे क्या है? छोटी सी एज पे बच्चा रोलो चलाता है. रोलो हमें पता ही नहीं है क्या है. उसकी लेग की कोऑर्डिनेशन है, उसकी आई सी कोऑर्डिनेशन है. यहाँ पे बच्चा साइकिल पे स्कूल जाता है, 5 साल का, 4 साल का बच्चा. हमारे देश में जाता है. They were very different. They are here. It's a complete different mind. So it took years to understand this also. It didn't just come as कि यार ये कैसे रहते हैं, ये कैसा कल्चर है. But there is, देखिए ध्यान से देखोगे और समझोगे तो समझ में आएगा. बट इंडिया में बैठ के क्या होगा कि नहीं, मैं रियल मैड्रिड बाय फॉर एग्जांपल बार्सिलोना है, बड़े बड़े नाम, मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड, यहाँ जाऊंगा, ये करूंगा, बस. It's beautiful to dream, but realistically, it takes years to work. See, a lot of people I worked with, I groomed today, have their own companies, they are sending children abroad. God bless them. But they miss out the most key important Vedant aspect. When the boy is playing, you need to be there. You need to stand there and help him. Because you have to understand, one, he's a desi. Second, if he's so good, he also need help. The players around him, and trust me, I played some decent amount of football. I played in the Indian circuit. I now play here with the old men team, the veterans team. We call it Alte Herin Aha. Not every time, if you're into the right space, you'll get the ball. And to work on players' psychological health is very important. So sending a child and saying, "जी हो जाएगा," magic नहीं होता यार. So खून पसीना लगता है, sacrifices, yeah. I left my own family to be here for these boys. And a lot of people are sitting back home and just saying, भेज देंगे जी, वहाँ चला जाएगा, वो बना देंगे. वो क्यों बनाएगा यार तुम्हारे लिए? उसको पैसे मिल रहे हैं ना बनाने के भाई. वो कहेगा मैं 4 साल में बनाऊंगा जी. उसके बाद नहीं बना जी, वापस चले जाओ. अकाउंटेबिलिटी कौन लेगा? अच्छा, दूसरा पढ़ाना नहीं है तो पढ़ाते ही नहीं है. कौन से स्कूल, लोकल स्कूल में डाल देंगे. कौन से स्कूल में जा रहे हैं, कौन उसका टीचर है, कौन प्रिंसिपल है, क्या माइंडसेट है. इज इट जस्ट अ नंबर से हाँ हाँ हो जाएगा, कर देंगे. आई मीन, एटलीस्ट टुडे आवर बॉयज, आई मीन लुक एट अनंत. ही वाज द फर्स्ट बैच इन जर्मनी. He passed with the highest grades. And where is Anand today? He went to the US on scholarship. He didn't make it as a football player. Wonderful kid, got an injury. God bless him. He couldn't come back after an injury. But what did he do? He got the highest marks in his school. He got scholarship in a US university. Now he's looking to do a job in Zurich as an investment banker. Come on, is this not good enough? जिंदगी बन गई बच्चे की यार through football. His CV was so unique. Anand, Nikhil has become an accountant. A boy from Chennai who was decent today has a life in Germany. He's living it. In a few years, he'll be doing so well. Mayank wanted to be a football player, realized that okay, it's not for me. Okay, we made him a bookkeeper. He's going to become phenomenal in his life. I think he's working for some consulting company already and earning money at the age of what, 18? He's getting a job done, he's doing his bachelor's, and he's getting paid. He's earning for himself. He's living at his own expenses. And look in Shalyant. He's working for FC Bayern. You think that's a joke? He played for the third division in Austria. I mean, is this not enough case study? It's about a life. We need to take that life ahead so that it grows. And they are part of the sport. What else? Yeah, it just doesn't end कि हाँ जी आपने भेज दिया बच्चा, हाँ जी बच्चा अच्छा है जी, मैंने 3 जगह ट्रायल करा दिया. वो प्रॉक्सी ट्रायल होते हैं वेदांत, यू एंड आई नो इट यार. ठीक है, वो बच्चे को थोड़ा सा चढ़ा देंगे कि हाँ जी, पेरेंट को कह देंगे ओ आपका बेटा तो 3 महीने का पैसा, 6 महीने का पैसा लेते हैं. एंड देन पेरेंट्स से जी नहीं, हमें तो अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं मिली जी. आई मीन व्हाट अपॉर्चुनिटी यू वांट अ लड्डू presented to you कि आप भी खाओ बेटा भी खाएगा. Opportunity comes when you knock the right doors. They trust some random guy who's not played football in his life just because he's a smooth talker, and they send children with him. Arey, you love your child, go with your child and see the place, na? Sitting in one place just because you can throw money, these people they want your money only. Come, put the effort, see what we do. Come, how many parents, I always invite parents, come have a look. एफर्ट डालो ना. एहसास होगा भाई हम क्या करते हैं. एहसास होगा कि हम कौन हैं, हम बच्चे को लिए क्या कर सकते हैं. दैट पीपल फॉरगेट. क्यों आज भी हमें 12 साल हो गए कोऑपरेशन में यहाँ पे जर्मनी में, हमें 14 साल कोऑपरेशन में हो गए फ्रांस में. क्यों हमेशा ये लोग कहते हैं नहीं यार एरिक तुम्हारे बच्चे बहुत अच्छे हैं यार, योर किड्स आर ऑलवेज रिस्पेक्टफुल, वी लव टू वर्क विद इंडियन किड्स. वाई? खड़ा हूँ मैं उनके साथ. गलती हर इंसान से होती है बट वो गलती सुधार लेते हैं तभी. अनफॉर्चुनेटली मेरे जनरेशन में बड़े कम लोगों को मेंटर्स मिले हैं, बट आज क्योंकि मुझे जो नहीं मिला, मेरी एक वो रहती है कि यार आई विश इन बच्चों को मैं वो दे सकूं, कि थोड़ा सा गाइड कर दूं मैं इन्हें, ये निकल जाएंगे। क्योंकि अच्छे हैं ना, जो बच्चे आते हैं हमारे पास 99% अच्छे होते हैं, सपने को लेके आते हैं। यू हैव टू हेल्प देम, यू कैन नॉट टेक एडवांटेज ऑफ देम। कर्मा है यार, अगर करेंगे तो फिर हमें भी वही मिलेगा। सो गोल इज ओनली टू हेल्प चिल्ड्रन। One of my biggest dream is to create brand ambassadors of Indian football. आज की डेट में हम बोलें कितने ब्रांड एम्बेसडर्स हैं फॉर इंडियन फुटबॉल के। बाई है, बाईचुंग, रेनेडी है, आई एम विजयन, माय डियर लेट कार्ल्टन चैपमैन वाज आल्सो अ टीएफए बॉय, इंडियन टीम कैप्टन, सुनील ग्रेटेस्ट, गुरप्रीत, थापा, 8-10 हैं जिन्होंने नाम किया है, पैसा कमाया, इज्जत कमाई है। देर आर और रीजनली भी हैं, यू नो बट ओवरऑल इफ यू आस्क द न्यू जनरेशन, they would be big fans of Gurpreet, Thapa, Sunil the biggest. यार आप क्रिकेट की पूछ लो तो लिस्ट ही नहीं खत्म होती. And the dream is also to groom coaches. Now we're working with a wonderful partner, Sporthood. Next year we're going to receive some coaches from there. We want them to be stationed here. I really want them to learn, and I don't want them to pay. I want them to work hard, learn and go back. What I learned, what you learned. They are good coaches, we'll develop them, send them back. And send them back with what? It's an investment for my nation. It's not an investment for me. What will he give me? He needs my help. He needs an opportunity. I can see it in multiple ways. I skin him or I help him. And unfortunately, because the mindset of a lot of people in the sport is for scavenging. Yeah, so going back to, so a lot of people say, यार नहीं एरिक तू ये पैसे कमाने के लिए कर रहा है. यार मुझे एक ऐसा पेरेंट दे दो जो ये कह दे कि हाँ मेरे बच्चे को आप फ्री में ले जाओ एरिक, बट जब ये मेच्योर होगा और ये स्टार बनेगा ना, ये पैसा नहीं लेगा, तो मैं पैसा नहीं लूँगा यार. मुझे एक ऐसी एयरलाइन दे दो जो क्या नहीं, मैं आपका बेटे से पैसा नहीं लूँगा, मैं फ्री में उसको फ्रांस या जर्मनी ले जाऊँगा. मुझे एक ऐसा स्कूल दे दो जो फ्री में मेरे बच्चे को पढ़ा देगा, और हाई क्लास. हाँ मुझे, क्योंकि मेरा बच्चा बेस्ट है ना वर्ल्ड का, तो उसके उसके तो पैसे लगने ही नहीं चाहिए. तो जब मैं ये शुरू किया था ना, लोगों ने मेरे लिए भी बहुत तारीफ करी थी. क्या करेगा तो, कॉर्पोरेट लाइफ में अच्छा खासा था, मैं यहाँ आया और यार ये कर रहा है, वो कर रहा है. एज अ मेंटर और एज अ गुरु, डू यू थिंक इज इट फेयर जो बच्चा ड्रीम कर रहा है उसे क्या हो तू नहीं कर पाएगा, या उसे क्या हो चल मिलके करते हैं, जितना पोटेंशियल है उतना रीच करते हैं, बाकी एक एवेन्यू और रखियो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की, या ऑन द फील्ड कोई जॉब करने की, या लैंग्वेज सीख और घर में जा, देश में जा, लैंग्वेज सीख, कल्चर सीखा. enable them so that they can go next. क्योंकि वेदांत इंडिया में भी स्कूल कर रहा है, इंडिया में भी फुटबॉल खेल रहा है, यहाँ भी स्कूल कर रहा है, यहाँ भी फुटबॉल खेल रहा है, बट यहाँ खेलने से कितना डिफरेंट हो जाता है पर्सपेक्टिव. कितने बच्चे हैं जिन्होंने ये किया है. अच्छा ऐसे भी हैं जो सक्सेसफुल नहीं हो पाए, बट दे आर सक्सेसफुल इन लाइफ. दे नो व्हाट दे वांट. You trust them, say, okay, you want this, beta, I'll support you. Isn't that beautiful? So, at least I know one thing, Vedant. वो फुटबॉल खेलना चाहते हैं, वो फुटबॉल खेलते हैं. They make it, and if they don't make it, they have an alternative. Because we identify those strengths and we groom them forward. We create a backup plan. Education, football. Whichever goes up, we balance it out. And we say, okay, this is what you think you're good at, carry on. We'll support you.